Okay, it's 4 o'clock on Monday, January 27, 2020. This is the Davenport Housing Commission, so I already made a correction on our front page here. It's the 27th of 2020. So, first order of business, we'll do roll call. Yolanda Roberts.
Here.
Joyce Miller.
Here.
Carrie Susich.
Here.
Great, we have a quorum, so we'll proceed on. Our first item is minutes of the December meeting. Are there any corrections or additions?
I apologize for my call to you guys. I have
Well, if there's no questions or additions, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from our December meeting.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the December meeting. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Our second order are the financial reports for December. Does anybody have any additions or corrections, or Destiny, anything you'd like to add for us?
I don't believe I have anything. I had sent you guys an email on the question from the last meeting. I don't know if you guys have any questions, if that made
correct.
sense through email. Otherwise, I don't really see anything that stands out to me. Unless you guys see anything that you have questions on.
How about the rental inspections for the Heritage there? I mean,
That's one that we've talked about before, where they increased the fee.
okay.
And we weren't notified, so we just had it budgeted for the price that they always charged in the past, and then we found out
Oh,
when we
that's
actually
right.
got charged that they increased the fee.
Now that you say that, I'm sorry.
And you'll see that for public housing. Yeah, public
Right.
housing is the same.
Right, I'm sorry. You did explain that in the past, so. Okay, well, if there's no other questions or additions or corrections, I'll ask for a motion to approve financial reports for December.
I move that we accept the financial reports for December.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept the financial reports for December. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. That passes. Next, we'll go on to the occupancy report.
We do have one vacant unit for public housing, one of the row houses that's actually currently being rehabbed, and we will have somebody moving in there as soon as it's ready. That person's already ready to move in. And then at the Heritage, when I did this report, we had 5 vacancies. We actually have 2 more since that time. We just had a tenant pass away last Thursday, and we had a tenant just move to a nursing home over the weekend. So unfortunately, that number is going to climb. And then for the Section 8, we are holding steady right where we kind of want to be. So that's about all I have right now.
Are the ones at the Heritage just a matter of getting rehab for new people, or, I mean, we still have quite a list of prospective people, don't we?
We have, she has 3 or 4 people ready to move in. We're just waiting on the rehabs to be completed. Since we've had so many and we only work with one contractor, it takes a while. I just wrote down, out of these 5 that are listed here, 3 of them are deceased. So when they just up and we don't have any knowledge, like a 30-day notice or anything to prepare for that. And then one person was terminated and one person moved to a handicap unit. So yeah, it's just a matter of waiting for our rehabs to be completed. Kelly actually has people ready to move in as soon as these units become available.
I guess while we're talking about it, I was just chatting with a guy the other day who needs to move, who might be a candidate. They have to commit, is there a way they could get their paperwork done off-site, or do they?
Is it online?
No, so
No,
there's
it's
an,
not online either, so I was trying to
well, there's
figure
an
out a way to-
application that would need to be filled out, and that can be filled out. I mean, it's paper, we don't have any of it online. So the application would have to be filled out and turned into our office. I mean, it can be done by mail or however it needs to
That
be
somebody
handled.
could pick it up, deliver it to
Yeah,
someone.
just has to be his signature on it.
Sure.
And then, once he would come to the top of the waiting list, then he would have to come in for an appointment with Kelly,
Sure.
to fill out the necessary paperwork, provide the necessary items that we need, and then go from there.
Okay, well, I told him, said, get your name in, because stuff doesn't happen right away, and
Yes.
Yeah, I
says
think
he
we
doesn't
have.
want to move till spring from where he is, and I just.
Oh, yeah, because he wouldn't be in until probably fall at this
Right, I
point.
said there's a list, so you
Yeah.
gotta get your, for not only the Heritage, but other places
Yeah, the
too.
Heritage is the only one that we have open right now, but yeah.
Right, well, I mean, other places in the
Right.
community
Right.
that would be better for him.
So the application is not available online?
No.
Why is
Because other housing authorities have had problems with people messing around with it, like taking things off of it. And I think it was Clinton had like 20,000 applications come in for their Section 8 program, and people didn't realize that it was Clinton, Iowa. And so they were just getting unnecessary applications. And so we've just decided that the application has to come from our office, and we keep it on different colored paper for each different application between the public housing, Section 8, and Heritage, so we know they all should come in on our colored paper. So we either mail them out or somebody picks it up.
Is that cost effective?
I mean, versus just doing it on white paper? Is that what you're saying, or,
I mean, just as far as,
and rather than online? We've never looked into doing it online before, so I don't know what the cost difference would be. I mean, I guess it's just a matter of the paper. And a lot of the people that we work with are elderly, disabled, for the Heritage anyways, where they don't always have online access. I mean, there could be somebody that's able to help them out. We help people out, we'll fill it out for them if they need it when they come in our office. Otherwise, they can take it with them and take it to somebody that can help them fill it out.
I guess while we're talking about that, just for general interest, does KSI or the Area Agency on Aging, do they have people that help people get housing? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
I didn't know if you folks might work with anybody
Uh-uh.
at one of those two agencies. that
No,
would-
that's not anybody that we work with.
Okay. All right, try to keep up on things going on in the community,
Sure,
so.
yeah.
So I said it was just kind of coincidental, I was chatting with a guy over the weekend too. Okay. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I'll ask for a motion to approve the occupancy and utilization report.
make a motion to approve the occupancy report.
Second.
Great, it's been moved and seconded to approve the occupancy and utilization report. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, that passes. Now on to this resolution 2020-01. I'm just now reading it myself, so. Okay, Destiny, could you refresh me? Is this the number we were at before making the last adjustment?
Correct. Yep, we were at 110%, and then we went to 105. I had asked for 110 when we discussed this last fall, and then this is what Mike was discussing with you guys at the meeting in December,
Right.
to increase it from 105 to 110. And that's the maximum that's allowed by HUD.
Oh, it is the maximum.
We have to be between 90 and 110% of the fair market rent.
Oh, yeah, it says that right in the first sentence.
Any questions? It's just silent.
No, I know that the staff saw it as quite an impediment to people, and hopefully this will help rate the situation.
Yeah, it just opens up more units available for our tenants is what we're looking for.
Mhm. Okay, well, I'll ask if there is a motion to approve this resolution of 2020-01.
I'll make a motion to approve, adopt the resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution 2020-01. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I would like to, well, I guess when we get to discussion,
I think we're there now.
right. Since we're there now, I didn't notice it said discussion until I flipped back. But to Destiny, if you could speak to that memo or letter that we received today from Bruce Berger and the Community and Development Office.
Yep, so he's just letting everybody know that they do have an agreement with a broker that they're looking at signing shortly. So they're just kind of letting everybody know that they are seeking a buyer for public housing and the Heritage.
Do you know how they came, what the qualifications were for them to choose that broker?
That I do not know.
Is it a local broker? Do you know
No,
that?
they're out of California.
Oh, jeez.
But they, from what Bruce has been told, I haven't been a part of any part of getting a broker or anything. But from what I understand from Bruce is that this particular company handles over 50%, I think it was, of all of these type of transactions for the like housing authorities, and they have a significant amount of experience in these type of transactions and dealing with housing authorities that are getting out of public housing and such.
Have the tenants been apprised of this?
We notified them by letter. I think it was last Monday, I think when I first notified you guys by email. Tenants were also notified, and we've had a couple people call us, but it hasn't been too big.
And there's been no public meetings as to this?
Not yet.
I've asked a couple older people about it. They don't know a thing about it.
Yeah, it was my understanding that they met with some of the council in December to get an idea if they wanted to pursue this or not. And that's when they went forward with meeting with HUD. But I don't know when it comes into play to have public meetings or.
So is this being initiated by the city or by HUD?
It was originally initiated by HUD. HUD reached out to every housing authority with under 50 public housing units, which we only have 42. And they found that it just wasn't cost effective to run a public housing with that low of a number. We're not able financially to run the program for what they give us. So they reached out initially, like I said, to all housing authorities under 50 units, and that's how the discussion began, was due to that.
Well, when I read in there also that bargaining units have been notified, that means a lot of people are going to lose their jobs.
I don't know for sure what is
Sure it
going to
will.
come. Well, but I don't know for sure because we're still going to continue with the Section 8 program. So I don't know how many people it's going to affect in the end. And we are looking at adding more vouchers to our program. So that will come into play at the end. I mean, that's above my knowledge of who they're
Aren't we
planning on
at the
keeping.
max for vouchers now?
But we're
For
applying for
budget is?
we're applying for 2 different programs. So we're seeking that information right now to apply for mainstream vouchers, which are for non-elderly disabled people, and for homeless youth in foster care. That will be for children between 18 and 24 to get a voucher. So we're looking into adding those 2 programs to our Section 8 program to increase our voucher size. Because at this time, the city's still planning on running the Section 8 program, the Housing Choice Voucher Program. So they will still keep staff for that purpose.
What's that process for getting those 2 new vouchers?
We have to apply for them when that time period is open. Right now, the mainstream one is not open. You had to apply by September 5th of last year for that one, but it'll reopen again. She told me just to keep watching. It comes through email. They'll let us know when they're accepting new applications for that. And the youth one, I have not got that far into the details of it. Right now, I've just been trying to understand the programs and how they work. And
Are there other type of vouchers out there that are available for the public?
oh yeah, for sure. But when HUD was just here, they mentioned these 2 to us that we would want to look into that seem fairly easy to apply for and something that would work well with our program and what we have available for applicants.
But you don't know if there's going to be any public meetings, question and answers for people at the Heritage or in our public housing units, or?
I believe that is something that's required eventually. We still have to apply for this. So right now, they're just placing them up for sale to get kind of a general interest to see what they get. We have to apply to go through to finish this process to actually sell them. And HUD told us that it was about a 90-day turnaround to get that application approved. And at that time is when we would get vouchers for our public housing tenants to be able to move to Section 8 program. And then our heritage tenants stay in place and the new buyer would just take over our current contract. So it's not going to be anything that's going to happen overnight or the next couple months because we still have to apply. And like I said, HUD told us that at this time it's running about a 90-day turnaround to apply and get approved. So right now the city's just putting it out there with the broker to see if they get any interest. And so I think that's, once we go to apply, I think that's when we have to actually hold the tenant meetings and the public meetings and stuff like that and get approval. It'll come through you guys as well, just for a recommendation as to whether you support it or not. And then I think it has to go through council as well for their final vote on it.
Do you happen to know if Rock Island's in a similar situation?
I think Rock Island has a lot more public housing units. I think they have hundreds. I want to say they have 700-800 public housing units.
So this buyer could be from anywhere in the United States then?
I would assume. I don't know how that works. But I mean, I guess if they found a management company or somebody to manage it here locally, then yes.
And the final decision on that bidder would be the cities to accept
Yes.
or recommend, or?
Yeah, I don't know if council has to approve the dollar amount. I know they have to approve whether to sell or not. I don't know if it would wait and come to them when they actually have a dollar amount of how much they're selling them for, if that's when I don't know for sure how that works exactly yet.
Anybody else have any questions on that?
We're just real early and, yeah, we're real early in the stages of it right now, so we don't really have a lot of answers, as far as staff or any of it. I know they're just putting it out there for sale in one package with the Heritage and all 42 units at this time. See if they get an interested buyer and everything at one, as one unit. And all of our tenants would be protected.
Protected in what way?
Our public housing tenants get a voucher to move to, they can actually move to Section 8 landlord if they want, or if the person that buys it is interested in renting to them and subsidized, if they have a program that they currently have, our public housing tenants could actually stay in their units and just rent from that landlord. It'd just be a separate program than what our public housing is. So that there is potential there as well. We just don't know for sure what our buyer is going to be to know.
But people could only get a Section 8 voucher if there is one available.
No. With this sale, with this disposition, we get 42 vouchers to add them to our program, to our Section 8 program. They're called tenant-based protection vouchers. So they get a voucher, and it's in addition to our Section 8 program. I mean, it's just added. It's 42 vouchers added to what we currently have. And then our Heritage contract, the new buyer will just take over our contract. So everything stays the same for the Heritage. The only thing they're gonna see a change in is management.
Are they required to follow HUD regulations for behaviors and?
For the Heritage, they would remain under the same contract that we have, so they would.
Until the contract runs out.
Right. And
It's
then,
done on an annual basis.
no, right now we have 3 years left on our contract. And then, the city could require whatever they want or not. But right now our contract, we have 3 years left on it with the Heritage. The city could require the buyer to sign a 20-year contract or something if they wanted to. I don't know for sure what they're considering at this time. And then our public housing, it's all gonna depend on if, like I said, they could take the Section 8 voucher and move out. They could potentially stay in their unit and rent from the new landlord. Depends if it's a market rate sale where, I mean, just anybody could buy it. Or it could be an agency that buys it to add to their inventory, their assets. It's all gonna be a matter of who buys the units, but everybody is protected as far as getting a voucher or the Heritage being able to stay. We're just looking, we're looking at units that are, or houses that, our public housing was built in 82, excuse me, and the Heritage was built 78, so just looking at the aging and the capital improvements that are needed on all of those units that financially we haven't been able to support.
Is that what precipitating this and the city not wanting to keep up their properties?
Well, the scattered sites, the public housing, HUD, like I said, HUD is the one that came to us with the suggestion of doing something with that, especially since our units are scattered throughout the city. They're not just all in one area. That makes it
It should
easy.
be. I think that makes sense to do that, but.
Yeah, so it adds to our finances when you have to drive to all the different locations and you're looking at having to go to 21 different places to do snow removal or cut grass or anything like that, which we've changed all of that kind of stuff now to tenants having to do that. But when you have scattered units just for maintenance needs, then they have to drive, versus all of them being in one location, it adds to the cost. So HUD is the one that actually came to us for that, to look at disposing. And then the Heritage, yeah, we are looking at it, the building's 40 years old. It's gonna need some capital improvements and not something that the city is, saved for, has the capital to do. In addition, I think this, from what I understand, it's really not what the city's looking to, they're not looking to be landlords. Being a landlord really isn't in their realm of services to provide the city.
It has
So-
been for 40 years.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know. You have to get the council's take on that. That's just my understanding of what I hear.
Okay. All right, well,
This is kind of off the subject, but you had mentioned now the tenants are responsible for like the snow removal and stuff like that. How was that implemented?
Well, it was actually in their lease. It's been in their lease, that we've never updated it to say that we were gonna provide those services. So it's actually always been in their lease that they were responsible for grass and snow. And then, I think it was just a couple of years ago that we changed it back to where they were responsible due to us trying to cut back on our cost and realizing that our tenants were able. We do have a handicap accessible unit on West 58 that we still do the services for because she's a handicapped lady. And we would do that for anybody that needed that. And our row houses, we do because we have 12 units out there. So we pay for the grass and the snow removal. But
How
otherwise,
did they take to the change?
they were fine. We let them know in the fall so that the winter, they would just have to buy a shovel. But as far as then when it came time for spring for doing grass, they had plenty of time. They had over 6 months to save up to buy for a mower or if they needed to pay somebody to do it. We haven't had many issues. No, we haven't had any issues. Some tenants pay a neighbor or somebody to do it, and we've had a couple cases where the city was contacted and we just had to remind the tenant that they need to do that. And really, it hasn't been too big of an issue. We haven't had anybody have to pay the fee or anything for having their grass cut.
because they charge you quite a bit to,
I think they
Yeah.
do.
luckily I've never had to do it, but
Right,
I've cut it close a couple times, getting it done, but. Okay. Well, I guess we'll look ahead to next, how come in February, I can't remember, we're not the 17th?
it's President's Day, we're closed.
Oh, that's it. Gotcha. So February 24th, Yolanda, I hope you can be here because I won't. I don't miss very often.
Oh, it's on February 24th, right?
Correct.
Okay, good. Yeah, I can. Not the
Okay.
17th.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, well, if there's no other questions or comments, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Oh, you can't oppose it. That's it. Thank you.